this computer. Let us pray. Almighty God and Father, we thank you for today. We worship you. We bless you, Lord. We acknowledge you, Lord, in everything. Even as we interact here, we pray, oh God, that your will be done. We are praying for wisdom and understanding, and we give you all the glory and all the honor. For it is in Jesus' holy name we do pray and do believe. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen.
I'll hand it
all
over.
right. Thank you. Thank you, Sam. And how is everybody doing? My name is Jared. I go by MC Jared, and we are happy to convene all of us here together, especially to steer the way forward in terms of business here in diaspora and in Kenya. And we have an entire team with us here from Kenya, and actually our guest of today. And I'll have them introduce themselves. Now at least they can. Maybe we got. Let me have the whole team from Kenya introduce themselves. From top to bottom. Let's based on the hierarchy, just introduce yourselves so we can know who we have and who we're dealing with first, and then we'll take it from there. So the Kenyan team, I'll have.
Hello. Hi.
Led by the Senior Counsel. Oh, there you go.
Yes. I am here. Hello. Good afternoon. Good morning. Good evening, everybody. It's good evening here. It's past 7 p.m. Yeah, Jambo from Kenya. It's good to be in this Zoom meeting, webinar of sorts. We are excited and looking forward to. We are part of you, you are part of us, and we couldn't have a better time. And we want to thank Samrak, we want to thank MC Gerard for planning this thing. My name is Maura Wahiga. I am the founder, partner, and chairman of MOR Advocates LLP, with head office in Nairobi, branch in Malindi, and branch in DIANI, that's South Coast. And we are able also and over the country. And with me, I have the team I work with, for whom I am a team leader. And I'll ask them to introduce themselves just very briefly, because they'll be saying something thereafter. Yeah, Brenda, can we start with you? Brenda, are you there? Okay. Josiah, I had seen you. Wow. I'm trying to see who else is there. Who is there?
Josiah.
Right. That's Josiah. Brenda was with us in a few minutes. Okay.
Yeah, I see Brenda. She's still there. I see Brenda. Brenda is there.
Brenda, you want to introduce yourself? You can give your two names if you have two or three. Okay, Peter, I see you. Peter, can you introduce yourself? Peter, you need to unmute. Peter, we can't hear you.
Hello.
Yes, now we can hear you. Yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead, Peter.
I'm Peter Karaoke. I'm in charge of finance and administration.
All right, we have Peter there. Then Catherine, you want to introduce yourself and where you're based?
Yes. Good evening. Well, is it evening, afternoon, everyone? Yeah. My name is Catherine Irongo. I'm based in DIANI, managing MOR Advocates, the DIANI branch.
Right. I had seen Florence here, and she just called me and warned me. We have another of the lawyers, attorneys, that she's a few minutes from to her house. It's a Saturday.
Yes, maybe I can introduce myself.
Please, go ahead. There you are. Yeah.
Yes, greetings, everyone. My name is Florence Ndinda. I'm an advocate with MOR Advocates based in the head office, Nairobi.
Okay. Whatever happened, Brenda, can anyone see anybody else? I think that looks like it in the meantime. So we'll introduce the others as we go along. So, Gerard, you want us to go on? Do we make some few remarks?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for the introduction. Yeah, we wanted to know the Kenyan team. And as we continue, I know more people are going to join. The main agenda of this meeting is to just do what we just did, introduction, know the team. We've been putting the word out there, the flyers and everything, but people wanted to, of course, put a face to the name and also to interact with the people in diaspora. So, a lot of people usually have so many questions. A lot of people have, so many things they would like to discuss with you in regards to, this new interaction of business. And exactly that's why we decided to put this together. And this kind of interaction, of course, gives people confidence and of course, makes people even know who they're dealing with and also adds the value to every detail that is being put out there. So right about now, I will hand this back to Sam. Sam, do we go straight to Q&A first, or do we first have a quick profile of the Kenyan team?
Yeah, karibu sana, the Kenyan team. It's an honor to have Mr. David, or Senior Counsel, is that the right title? Senior Counsel David Mwaure and your team. You're not new here, you're a regular. I think we last spoke maybe a month or two. And nice meeting the team. You have a large team, very professional. Saturday is a tricky day for many because that's in quotes like their free day, but also busy with their families. Actually, currently, I'm supposed to be in a barbecue right now, but because of this meeting, I have to spare 1.5 hours. This will be recorded. So we may be few here, or depending on the number of people who show up, but it's going to be shared widely. We're here for the content. We're here for the information. So whatever information is shared here will be shared amongst many other diaspora people. And once again, karibu sana. And if there's anybody in the crowd who would like to say hello before we begin, you can say hello. Chris, are you there? You want to say hello? Or Josiah? If not, we'll go straight. Karibu sana Karanja. If not, we'll go straight to Mr. David Mwaure. Give us a brief bio or anything that you may have for us this afternoon in US. I know it's Kenyan time, it's around 7 p.m. Thank you for your sacrifice and your time. We are here to listen to what you have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Samrak. Thank you, MC Gerard, and everybody else who is in there. We are excited as a team to have this time to interact and talk together. I don't know if you've done anything like this before with Kenyans or professionals in any other profession, and we are excited because it can only enhance, relationships. We wanted to make some opening remarks. Is a colleague of mine, Brenda. I can't see you. Brenda, are you there? Very well. She will make her remarks thereafter, but let me make these remarks. It's such a joy to connect across oceans. We are excited with people and with fellow Kenyans over there and with us here at home. And it's always heartwarming to see that you Kenyans in diaspora are still deeply invested in and interested in what's happening back home. Because no matter where we go, our hearts, our land, and our dreams remain anchored here. Kenya today is still that unstoppable nation of possibilities. Popular for a lot of reasons, good, not very good, and bad. You know, there are a number of them which can be bad, but it's still the leading innovation hub in Africa and stands out as one of Africa's most diverse and forward-looking economies yet. It is internationally recognized as Silicon Savannah because it fosters a vibrant startup ecosystem that spans fintech, agriculture, technology, clean energy, healthcare, e-commerce, and more. And everything you know, as you well know, because you're in touch and you keep visiting, coexist here. Urban and rural, old and new, humble and ambitious, even good and evil. Economically, Kenya remains a nation where modern tech and good old farming live side by side. We have young people creating apps and businesses on their phones, and others growing the food that keeps the nation going. Tourism blends with tech and the sound of factories, mixes with music, art, and ideas. From our library capital, Nairobi, to the green fields of Rift Valley and central Mount Kenya region, all the way to our sunny coast, where the ocean drives trade and fishing, Kenya is always buzzing and full of life. But our story is also shifting, and I know you're interested in these few opening remarks I'm making. Politically, our story is also shifting politically, socially, and legally. We are in a moment of transition, and you've been following. The recent passing of Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, a statesman whose name shaped generations, has created both reflection and recalibration. Kenya will have to reimagine its political and legal direction. We may soon see new, probably governance frameworks, new laws, and a new nation conversation about leadership, democracy, and justice. The other day, we had posted in one of our newspapers an invitation for public participation by a parliamentary Senate committee, a National Assembly Senate committee, and they wanted views to find out whether we can amend the Constitution. One of the proposals, whether do we still keep the 5-term presidential term or we go to 7? Of course, they also are talking about in terms of creating formally the position of a prime minister constitutionally. You know, ours is a presidential form of government, not parliamentary, and with deputies and so on. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is not something to fear. It's an opportunity. Every time Kenya reinvents itself, new doors open for investment, for reform, for smart planning. The judiciary, despite its challenges, remains one of Africa's most independent and courageous. We'll talk to you that because we are also talking as legal professionals. Our courts continue to define land ownership rights, succession, family property, and business law in groundbreaking ways. The legal evolution means one thing. This is the time to position yourself wisely. And that's where we as MORNINGSIDE LLP come in. We are not just a law firm, we are your eyes, your ears, and hands in Kenya. We help you secure investments, recover your property, regularize your titles, plan your estates, and protect your families. We handle the details so that you can focus on your dreams. When you work with us, you're working directly with seasoned professionals who know the system, who understand the law, and who have walked the corridors of justice for years with integrity and excellency. We know a little, and you'll be telling us more by asking us questions. The diaspora story, the land you bought that someone else occupies, sadly enough, the family disputes over succession, the frustrations with paperwork, or the fears that you lose what you have worked so hard. Let me and my team assure you, those problems have solutions, and we have handled them. Our firm, MOA LLP, successfully represented clients in land recoveries, family estate planning, taxation, and investment structuring. We combine legal knowledge with business insights to ensure your affairs in Kenya are secure, compliant, and profitable. So as Kenya transitions politically and legally, we invite you not to just observe from afar, but to engage smartly, invest wisely, regularize your matters, and plan your estates. And let us walk that journey together. MOA LLP is not just in the business of law, we are in the business of trust. And we are here to protect what you have built or to grow it and make sure it stands firm. From Nairobi to New York, from Mombasa to Minnesota, or even to LA at the West Coast, Kenya is changing and there is hope for this nation. The law is also changing, but one thing remains constant: our commitment to serve you, protect you, and deliver results. Samrak and those listening in this Zoom meeting, those who are just brief remarks, we will be addressing you on a couple of other matters as my team runs in to take their position. We are also hoping actually that you'll be the people who move us by asking us questions, any questions on the various issues. Talking about the economy, let me just mention a few things. You all know Kenya's business landscape is diverse and thriving, with various sectors experiencing significant growth. And Kenya's demand for food security and value-added agriculture products is rising, making its agribusiness lucrative venture. Dairy farming, poultry, fish farming, or juice production. Fintech and mobile money. Right now, with over 80% of Kenyans using mobile money services, starting an M-Pesa agency offering digital wallet services can be highly profitable. E-commerce and online stores. Kenya's e-commerce sector is growing rapidly, driven by increased internet access and mobile penetration. Online store platforms like Jumia or Kilimall. Real estate and construction are an area of interest to you in the diaspora. Kenya's housing deficit and growing urban populations makes real estate and construction attractive business. But let me say this, and say it at the earliest and outset, that this would not have been where it is or moving with the speed it's moving if it were not for you in the diaspora. It's you, Kenyans in diaspora, who have brought the difference in Kenya. According to Kenya's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, right now, diaspora is over 4 million. We have about 4 million or 4 million living abroad. For the 12 months up to April 2025, remittances hit US dollars 4.9 billion. USD 4.9. This is 749 billion Kenya shillings, according to the Central Bank of Kenya. You, the Kenya diaspora, we want to applaud you, my team and I, and with all the accolades, because you have played a significant role in the country's development, contributing in various ways. Economic contribution, you've been in the forefront. Social and cultural, you've also been in the forefront. We just talked, talking about the economic, about your remittances. Investments, diaspora members invest in key projects, stimulating economic growth, because there's no way a country can move forward without your input. Talking about social and cultural, you in the diaspora are in the forefront of promoting Kenya culture, fostering a sense of national identity and community. Knowledge transfer, skilled diaspora members share expertise in sectors like technology, health, and education, driving innovation and growth. And we are aware of some of you who keep traveling between the US and here and other diaspora, Australia and places, and are investing here in areas of knowledge transfer, starting education institutions, diplomatic and development contributions. Diaspora members promote Kenya's interest abroad, enhancing the country's global reputation. And even though the Kenyan government has launched several initiatives to engage and empower you, still more can be done. We come to you with an area of concern that an area particularly of legal services, you have not received the best, not every time, not always, and hope tonight we can answer all those nagging questions. We can develop this into a relationship, and yeah, we can do something together. Allow me to stop there. There's much more I could have said, and invite Catherine Irongo, who introduced herself a little earlier, to talk about what's happening in our coastal region and the opportunities that are there. Catherine, just take about 2 minutes, and I'll have Brenda or Florence take another 2-3 minutes, talk about what's happening in the courts. Welcome, Catherine.
Hello, everyone, again. So basically, I'm into properties, and how it started was more advocates would do the conveyancing work, and we ended up working together. And so the market here it's grown over time, because earlier we used to see more of the European people be the ones who come in, especially the pensioners would consider DIANI to be the perfect place for their retirement. But now it's shifted, and we see a lot of diaspora market, and also not just the pensioners, but also the middle class and even the young people with Airbnb businesses growing. So there's a lot of purchases in apartments, villas, and also plots. So it depends on what kind of investment someone wants to do, or just maybe you just want to build a holiday home to retire to when the days are over at work. So you could either have a holiday home here and you can put it on the market so that when you're away at work, you still make money through Airbnb. That's an option. And you could also just buy a home where you come rest, or your family comes rest. You could also buy a plot and develop and build rentals, or just, do farming, whatever it is. There's a notion that DIANI is just a holiday place, but actually there's a huge community here, and there's lots of now business opportunities also coming up, which is not just holiday, but also there's a new community of people settling here. So there's more business opportunities that are coming into play. I would say so earlier was also a problem, because there used to be crossing from Mombasa, you had to use the ferry, and the uncertainties of the ferry was I would say it affected the market in some way, especially with the Kenyan market. But there's a shift since the Dongokundu bypass was finished. We've seen a huge change from the inquiries we had in 2024 and the inquiries we're having now in 2025. There's a huge shift. There's like 300% increase in the inquiries of investment. So it's an amazing place to not just live, but also, you could build, visit, and also live here. And I think we'll be looking at the opportunities and how the market responds and how it looks as we go.
Thank you, Catherine. I know Brenda will be adding something as well to that, but as Brenda prepares to add a few things, and she can comment on opportunities in the coastal region of investment, and also talk about the practice of law. Let me give an intro to the whole area of law as we talk about land and succession. Start by saying that we are seeing quite some marked changes in the judiciary and our legal systems. The judiciary has recorded and been recording an upward trajectory in its performance in fast-tracking hearings and determination of cases. And I know this is a matter of concern. Cases taking 10 years, succession cases are very close to the heart of you Kenyans in diaspora, land cases, contracts, and so on. Right now, the Chief Justice has given directions that a civil matter in the High Court needs to be finalized at the latest within 3 years. But we have got even other courts, like a court we call the Small Claims Court, that is supposed to finalize its cases in 60 days. For anything below 2 million Kenya shillings, you don't have to wait that long. Or sometimes it does spill on to 3, 4 or so months, but at least you can be sure it's had within a very short time. We have also noticed an increase. There is an increase in the number of judges. As you are aware, the hierarchy of our courts, like you, is we have the Supreme Court, we have a Court of Appeal, High Court, magistrates, 7 judges in the Supreme Court, 30 judges in the Court of Appeal, 79 judges in the High Court, more than 542 magistrates, and with about 15,000 lawyers now. I mean, the choice is very broad. Then the other area of course, in the courts, there's incorporation of IT in our court systems. And these days, you give evidence from where you are. You don't have to travel like it used to happen. We have caught up with you in one way or the other. And what has meant is that this also fast-tracks cases. The other area of concern would be areas of land registration and various registries. Land registries are also getting digitized in their operations. We have currently NAIROBI registry is the only one that's fully digitized, but all other land registries are envisioned to also be fully digitized by 2029. For lands in NAIROBI, you can do a search online, but we'll answer any questions that will arise. And of course, also we have the SASA platform. This is done through the National Land Information Management System that has been created, or also known as SASA, to improve efficiency and transparency. That's the one that's responsible for digitalizing. These days, like I said, costs are cut because you don't have to travel. You can log in from where you are, and you are heard, except when you probably one faces connectivity problems. And sometimes, and we have done this within MWA LLP. Your timelines are different from us, and we have pleaded with the courts, if a case where evidence has to be given by one of you, any of you based out there, if that case can be heard at a time that's convenient to you. We know you have had to wake up at 3 a.m., 2 p.m., so that your cases can be heard, or you can be heard. And we have had the experience of having made appeal to judges before and to the court's administrators, that when that case is reached, we have this person in the US, they are on the West Coast, and there are so many hours, almost 9 hours behind us. Please let them not be woken up. They have to go to work, they have to go to college, or they are coming late from work. And if we can respect that. So there's all those changes happening. And I would like to invite my colleague, Brenda. I know there are remarks you would have made at the beginning, but I think she had connectivity problems. We made them on your behalf. What more would you want to add is happening in the legal profession, land and successions? Talk also about the matters of corruption, they are of concern, but we'll wait for questions. Brenda, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you so much, Senior, for the opportunity. I want to welcome everybody. Thank you so much for our family in the diaspora region. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, everyone, wherever you may be.
And before we go, we made you earlier remarks, so you have to make different remarks. We had shared some remarks. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm sorry, I think computers have this thing of where they misbehave whenever it's very important, and I'm sorry for that. In the legal sector, things are really changing. As you've seen, we were a country in mourning. Our retired Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga passed away quite recently. So, I mean, his name has shaped generations and, has created both, a reflection and recalibration in our country, both in terms of political and like in the legal direction. We may soon see some new governance and frameworks coming up, new laws, and even like a renewed national conversation about leadership, democracy, and justice. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is not something to fear. It is an opportunity. That means every time that means Kenya has to reinvent itself. That means new doors opening for investment, for reforms. Now it's time to position ourselves wisely in the country. So, and that is where we come in as a firm. We are your eyes, your ears, and your hands in Kenya. We will help you secure your investments, recover your property, regularize your titles, plan your estates, and protect your family. We handle the details so that you can focus on your dreams. Maybe you wanted to, come back in Kenya and invest, work with different economies. As you've seen, Kenya has been called the Silicon Savannah because it fosters a very vibrant startup ecosystem. We are coming up in terms of fintech, agriculture, technology, clean energy, healthcare. Very many opportunities are coming up. So, in terms of succession, I think the country is now in a very good place. Our court systems are working in terms of litigation within succession. It's moving within a span of like 1 year. What was in the past of like succession issues being dragged all over in court? You cannot manage your properties when you're abroad because of like very many issues, like so many processes in court. Our court processes are now easier. Court systems have like become virtual. You can even join court from wherever you are. Succession processes take now a relatively shorter period of time. Our team has very good litigators, very good experience and seasoned advocates who can, help and guide you through the process, led by, of course, our senior, Mr. Maura, has been a very good mentor to all of us. And now we are proud to say that we can take all your succession and family issues, may it be divorce, may it be children's custody, may it be, everything touching on succession matters, family issues. Now it's easier, so this is the best time to start those processes so that also you can safeguard your assets back at home. And we are saying back here at Mwaura Wahiga and Associates, we are equipped and very much experienced to do that for you. In terms of what else did we talk about? In terms of, like conveyancing land matters are really, really hot in Kenya. Everyone is trying to grab land where you can. Some are turning it into a business. Land is the main economical gain in Kenya. People want to settle down. Other people want to make it a business where you can, buy and sell land as a way of businesses. So in relation to a family in diaspora, we know you're also working very hard out there to, secure your legacies back at home. Land processes have never been easy, but we have connections everywhere. We work with realtors, we work with clerks, we work with different land registries everywhere. We have branches in Nairobi, we have branches in Mombasa, we have now a branch in Diani, which is like our baby branch. We are trying to, establish our roots here because it's a very hot ecosystem. The lands here are very, very demandable. They are in demand because of course nobody doesn't want to have a beachfront property as your retirement plan. But also we are saying at our farm we are equipped, we are ready to take on every other matters in conjunction with all those stakeholders. And maybe
Okay.
you are welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you. You brought in a different feel to it. And Samrak, there you are. You have heard us. MC Jared, Jared, you have heard us. Can we probably answer some questions? I am reminded with nostalgia when I was the US a month and a half away, almost 2, and you organized a similar thing. I was the only one. And it was such a time of interaction. That, of course, was on an evening. This is during the day when there are barbecues and children's sports. But for us, even if it's just one person, we're happy enough. It matters. It matters for us. So back to you. And let's see, areas we can clarify, areas you have not heard the voice of Florence Dinda. You'll be hearing Peter Kariuki. You'll be hearing, back to you.
Thank you, Senior Counsel David Maure. I have a few questions and a few remarks. Once again, welcome to everyone to this forum. We have the pleasure or the distinguished pleasure of having Moa attorney, Maure and Maure Wahiga advocates, legal professionals spanning over 30 years in Nairobi and now I believe LAMU and DIANI. They do a lot of legal stuff. Notaries.
And Malindi as well. And Malindi as well.
And Malindi,
and even Mombasa, we can do matters for you. And nationally, because we've gone virtual.
Yes, our commissioner of oath, arbitrator and mediator, and also notaries and public. Their main head office is around NGONG Road, I believe. They have a list of phone calls, and they have a working website where you can also be able to log in and access all their social media and access all their services. The first question is, a few years ago, there was a list of, you said Nairobi is digitalized, correct?
Yeah.
A few years ago,
yes.
There was a list of all Nairobi properties that were due that the land rates were due and were being demanded by City Hall. How far did that case go? And then the second question is, what steps should I follow to safely verify land ownership and avoid fraud when buying property in Kenya? The other question I got is, what are the different types of land tenures in Kenya, freehold versus a leasehold? There's a new law that was passed, I believe, a week ago, changing all that to 99 years or something. And what legal protection or restriction should that come with each? The other question that I have is, how does succession process work in Kenya? And what should families do to ensure a smooth transfer of property after death of a loved one? The last question I have, what legal documents and due diligence are required when investing in land, real estate, or business? and what common legal pitfalls or disputes in land and succession matters, and how can I prevent or resolve them effectively? Just because we're in diaspora does not mean that people do not die. People die. Does not mean that people do not get married. People get married. Does not mean that we do not invest. We invest. So all this paperwork for, land transfers, succession, your paper to be notarized, your account to be notarized, transfer of titles, we do experience them. But one problem we may have is that we only have maybe 2 months or a month to travel to Kenya and try to accomplish all that. And sometimes we experience some shortfalls. But now we have a company willing to partner with the diaspora, Mwaure and Mwaure Advocates. And I believe you have a 24-hour call center whereby our diaspora clients can contact you guys anytime, because we have, is it 7 or 8 hours time difference, and we can be able to access those legal services that you offer. Otherwise, those are the few questions that I have. I may get others, but karibu sana. And once again, you're not strangers. I call my friend, Senior Counsel David, anytime I want. He's 24-hour accessible. Asante sana. Thank you, Jared, for this opportunity. Asante.
Thank you, Samrak. Did Gerard want to say something? Before he says, I was going to ask Samrak if again you can go through the list of questions. We were handwriting, trying to scribble very quickly, particularly the last two. I don't know if Brenda and Florence experienced the same thing. Maybe one more time we'll capture what we didn't. The last two. Succession processes, that's on number 4. How can families secure their succession? I think that's what it was. Samrak, is that right?
Okay, let me start again. What steps should I follow to safely verify land ownership? So technically, verification of land ownership. Is there a website? Should I go through you? And avoid fraud when buying property in Kenya. Number 2, what are the different types of land tenures in Kenya, freehold versus leasehold? What legal protection or restrictions come with each? And you don't have to go in detail, just maybe highlight. What does the succession process work, or how does the succession process work in Kenya, and what should families do to ensure a smooth transfer of property after the death of a loved one? Right now, there's a generation shift. The older guys are kind of facing away. The new generation is coming in. What is a valid will? What are the rights of spouses? Whether it's come we stay or married. The other question is, what legal documents and due diligence are required when investing in land? Is it my KRA PIN, my passport or ID, or businesses as a Kenyan in the diaspora? What clarifies what paperwork is mandatory? What is the searches at the land registry, sale agreements? Are you guys able to see that like online? And then the other question is, what common legal pitfalls or dispute in land and succession matters, and how can I prevent or resolve them effectively? What are the common legal pitfalls or disputes in land and succession matters?
All right. Yeah, we will also try to go through them that way. I don't know, Florence, have you been able to catch up with us? All right. I know she will. She was rushing home as well from Saturday afternoon. That's our other senior colleague. All right. I will pick a few, and then I will also have Brenda pick a few. There was the first one about a case that was there for land rates in Nairobi and how far it went. I am trying to remember how that case was decided. I think probably Brenda, you can check, and we come back to that. If we are able to check a case in Nairobi on land rates, we can come back on that, because It was a major case, and I don't remember it being reported. But let me go to steps to verify ownership, and I can tie that with the kind of searches you want to do when you want to buy a property in Kenya. Of course, the first place is if you're in Kenya and we are talking to you, you are not in Kenya. If you are here visiting for that 1 month, and yes, you come for 1 month, 2 months, or a couple of weeks, if you have the time, first of all, it's important to see the land physically. First of all, that's critical, to see the land physically. If it's possible to see it with a surveyor or a lawyer, of course, plus the other person you'd see the land with, it can be family member, because of follow-up. Assume you are just here for 2 weeks, because people have bought land, and later by the time you go, you see from the paper, by the time you go to see what is that, you find that there's either a dam, or there's a property that's been constructed out there, or it's not the picture that you are given. Of course, before then, you would want to have the person selling to you identify themselves. If they are individuals, they need to be able to give you identity card. They need to be able to show you they have a KRA PIN. You need to see a copy of the title deed. And even before probably wasting one's time to go right at the physical position to see the land, you want to see first, does this land exist? And you might even want, with time allowing, if it's Nairobi, it's possible to do a search online. If it's outside Nairobi, it's possible to do by traveling out there. Or for us, what we do is, if it is in Madeira or Kapenguria, which are far from here, or in Kisumu and we don't have a branch there, we have ways of working with colleagues, and they're able to do a search for us very quickly, and we have certified copies of the searches. So you want to do those basic steps first. First of all, is the person selling to you legit? Is he the owner? Is there a title? Can that title be verified? But those documents are not enough. Even a search is not enough. You want to go physically and see the land with your own eyes, and go with surveyor who identifies that, yes, this is a land, whether it has beacons, and if it doesn't have beacons, then he should be able to say, because sometimes beacons get removed, they are washed away. He should be able to say that this is the space, this is where the 4 or the 6 beacons should be, so that you are not buying land again. And by the time you get your title and you have paid and you've gone through the processes, you find that half the property has been built by somebody else. So physical identification, and particularly for any purchaser, it's not just for you, our brothers, fellow Kenyans and sisters, for you fellow Kenyans out there who need to do this. But when we talk about searches, in the old days, there is the basic search, but that's not enough. And even for Nairobi properties, where you can go online and do a search, but that's not enough. These days, we are emphasizing in the legal profession, and the courts have also emphasized on doing a historical search. So we are walking in there and asking for the file and identifying, before the person selling to you bought it, who is it who sold to them? How had they acquired it? Going as far back as, even if a title has been transferred between 10 persons, it has a history of 10, even if 20. It's possible to see that, and getting copies thereof. Even much more, where one is buying a land that was a succession land. You want to go to the court, now not the land's registry, to the court, and identify whether the succession court case was conducted, how the land was divided, whether the person selling to you is the one who was allotted or allocated, whether there is an ongoing dispute. You want to do that. And this is because, like anywhere else in the world, we have had people come up with fake court documents, fake registry documents, even titles. We have had people come up with all manner of things. So we are insisting, and the courts are insisting, not just on the search, the official search, and what we call a green card, which is a record of how the land has transferred. But before even the green card came, who is it, who owned the land, and in what form? Usually it would have been the government and so on. If it was a succession, we move from the land registry, we also search to find out if the land is indeed succession went through the courts. And then from there, or alongside with that, you want to go physically and identify this is the land and these are the beacons, so that by the time you come back, it's not sold to somebody else. There was also another question asked, what legal documents are needed when investing in Kenya? And I believe this is investing in not just in land, but in any other business. At the minimum, you need to be able to identify yourself in one way or the other, either by Kenyan identity card or by your passport. You need to be able to do that. Then the other one is, once you want to invest in Kenya, you have to get a KRA PIN. And Mr. Peter Kariuki will be able to chip in and say the process, talk about the process of getting it. And then basically take legal advice on what it takes, like to buy certain types of land. For instance, agricultural lands have been out of bound to be bought by non-Kenyans. But here we are talking about you Kenyans in the diaspora, so you are Kenyans. That would not be a challenge. And basically, those are the two minimum. The identification also, so that you are known you are not a minor. If you are below 18, you have to buy the land through somebody else. So those are the minimum documents that you have. Then from there, you can get into that business or buy that land as an individual or as a limited liability company. You can also buy as a trust. You can also buy as a non-governmental organization. You can also purchase as any registered organization, as long as you are registered. I think that takes care of the question on searches. But somebody else can add something else. Before we go to wills, rights of spouses, let me ask Brenda to come in. We'll also come to the types of lands. Brenda, you want to add something or to touch on points I've left out?
Thank you so
Or I
much.
can go on, you come in later.
Yes, I think, yeah, I will. I might want to.
Okay. Let me go on. Then there was a question about types of lands. Yes, it's true. We have the concept of freehold. We have we have leases, and we have community lands. You asked about a law that was signed 2 weeks, no, not weeks. In fact, it's last week while we were on the day that the Right Honorable died, Raila Odinga, and it seeks to convert freehold lands into leaseholds. It's under contest now. Some people have already gone to court about it. But those are the three that have existed. They still exist. But other mini types, we have beach plots. We have which sometimes are held in a class of their own. We have the ranches, the community ranches, and I talked about communities here, which are also in a class of their own. So those are them. There was a question about the rights of spouses, and this one is a straightforward one. a spouse has as much right in land buying as the other spouse. A question have arisen recently, and the courts have had to make several decisions, but they are recently, if it's in terms of property sharing, courts have continued emphasizing on demonstration of what the contribution was. There was a time the law was this would be 50-50, unless it's specified in the title itself. But the courts now have come around and said you have to prove if it's in a question of divorce and division of properties. But in terms of registration of land and titles, you can have them in two formats. You can have the title registered in your name, and it's joint ownership. And where one spouse expires or dies, then the land automatically refers to the other one. But there is another type of ownership known as ownership in common or common ownership, whereby a spouse owns a percentage or a portion of that. And largely, unless otherwise specified, it's deemed to be 50%. So if a property, a title is owned by the two of them, the two of you, and it's an ownership in common, when one passes away, the other half becomes the subject of succession. It does not automatically revert to the other one. There was a question about wills. What's a valid will? A valid will in Kenya is a will done by any person who is of right mind and done and signed and witnessed by any two witnesses. It can be on a scrap of a paper, it can be on any kind of a paper, but it is witnessed before two witnesses. That's what a valid will is, a written will. There is room, however, for an oral will. An oral will also has to be before same witnesses, but the person who makes an oral will and says, I leave my properties to X, Y, Z, that will becomes valid if that person dies within 90 days. If they live longer, then that oral will is not valid. Now, wills are getting challenged these days. They are getting challenged in Kenya, whereby some of the beneficiaries or family members are saying we should have been given this, we should have been apportioned some assets, properties, and the courts have come up with various decisions about how that can be done. But it does not mean that a will is not absolute. It's absolute to the extent to which if there is a reason why your immediate family member, like your spouse, and if you have any children, your children, if there is a reason why those two categories of people are not included, if you explain it sufficiently, then it doesn't matter. Even if somebody challenges the will, they cannot succeed. For instance, if you're able to demonstrate that I have not bequeathed one of my children, and the reason is because in my lifetime, I gave them a beach plot in Malindi, I gave them a beach plot in DIANI, then the courts will be able to understand that. So they are getting challenged to the extent which you have not explained yourself. It may very well be that you have other personal reasons. Just bring them out. You have some other personal reasons. Maybe your child or somebody who is entitled to sold off a plot that belonged to you, or got a plot that was entitled to you. You send them because you are advancing in age or you are way out of the country, and said, please have it registered in my name, and they register it in your name, in their names. Then you can have reason to say, in my final will, they did not treat me well, they did not behave well, and that's why I've not explained. So a will still remains a document where you not only are able to say, this is how I would like my property shared, but also you can explain why you are doing what you're doing. You can explain why you are doing and why this person or the other is not included. Mr. Karaoke, I don't know if you are still there, Peter Karaoke. Peter, are you near? Peter, would you like to talk about obtaining of the KRA PIN, the processes? Is it online now? It's online, isn't it?
Yes, it's online.
Go ahead. What's required?
So for KRA nowadays, for any filing of taxes, and they have digitized the systems, and the government is trying to digitize the system even from the Nairobi City County. Most of the properties that are in Nairobi have been digitized on AdhiSasa, and anyone can do a search online nowadays from AdhiSasa. And also, if you want to pay any rates, they are paid online. And most of the properties have been converted online. Also, in terms of payment of stamp duty, all the services have been transferred from KRA, and now they are being paid through AdhiSasa. So we are trying to, the systems nowadays are mostly in Nairobi, around the Nairobi region, are digitized. What we have is that for most of registries that are out of Nairobi, they are online. They are still manual, but we have contacts in case you need any assistance from or registration of any property that is out of Nairobi.
Probably, Mr. Karaoke, you can talk about specifically about applying for a KRA PIN.
Okay.
The requirements.
Okay, for KRA requirements for those that are resident or have Kenyan ID, it's simple. What you just need is to submit your online ID. And for those that maybe don't have Kenyan ID, there's something we call Aryan card for those who are resident. You just need to submit your documents online, which we can help in case you are out of Kenya. And if you have even passport, you are able to apply for foreigners. You are able to apply for a KRA PIN.
And one can apply when they're out of the country, isn't it?
Yes, online.
They just log into eCitizen.
Yes, no, the KRA eTeams. There is a system they have introduced called eTeams. You just need to log in and apply for registration. It's
eTeam, correct?
Yes, eTeams.
Mm-hmm.
It's an online system, and it's a 1 minute registration. You just need your legal documentation, either an ID or a passport.
All right, great.
Yes.
All right, and Brenda, have you come across that case on rates? I have seen some postings here. Is it concluded? Were you able to see, or somebody had checked it up? A case that was in court. No, I think this is a notice. This is a notice. Samrak, is this what you are referring to? No, that was a famous case, and I think because we don't have the information at our fingertips, that would mean it's not concluded. Back to you, Samrak, for any more questions, and MC Jared. Are there more questions? Can somebody see more questions? Yeah.
Yeah, I see. Charles Mungai sent a few questions on the chat. Actually, anybody with more questions, you can feel free to jump in and let me see here.
Yes.
I see.
Yes,
I don't know. Maybe Yeah, thank you, Mogai. I think these are questions maybe
Thank
probably.
you.
Yeah, go ahead. Do you mind? Yeah, go ahead, Charles. And probably, I know you already sent your question, but if you don't mind, maybe we can get a better clarification from the team here. And I'm sure probably other people would like to benefit from the same question too. So just go ahead and ask the question.
Okay, thank you very much. Hi, let me just turn on my screen here. So my name is Charles Mungai, and I'm online right now with I was introduced to the forum by my sister. So, a couple of years ago, we lost my dad. We actually lost my mom many, many years ago. So my dad, survivor, my dad remained. As dad was by the time dad passed away, there are a few things that were not done, including a will and succession. Now, there's an issue that's holding back anything like succession. There were parcels of land that have titles. Those we have. There's a piece of land that's really lucrative that had a land certificate. Unfortunately, at some point, Mzee thought something was looking fishy, so he put a caveat on that piece of land. Us guys were not around at that time. So when he did that, as he was aging, he started trying to follow up on that process, the land certificates, but he hit every roadblock you can imagine. So now the issue is some of the pieces that he had and were title to, that he sold, he never even transferred to the people. So now those guys call us every day because they can't move on. He sold to a lady who's now deceased. She bought this as gifts for her grandchildren. They can't build, they can't do anything. So now we're stuck because we can't move forward with anything until the one that had a land certificate is resolved, because we have to include everything in the succession at once. We can't succeed twice, Indio.
Right.
So now we need representation in Nakuru County.
Okay.
Number one, we have very little documentation, but it's there. But there's enough to prove that he was part of that land buying company. But because of that caveat, we don't know what to do at this point. Because if we leave that out, you've just literally thrown money to the wind, you know?
Right. We hear you.
So I am grounded. I'm in Kenya. I have my siblings who are abroad. We're just three of us. So this has been a nightmare to try and get, even to begin this process. You hit roadblocks everywhere. On top of that, now even the ones that we have title, Pale Aligawa, it was converted to plots. So there's one that mom inherited right here. And then right across, when Meguka was very sick, my dad bought from Meguka, mom's side. Then he changed the road from where the road was to somewhere, to a bit kando. So the mutation and what you get, it's just a messy situation. So we need to know how to handle this.
Right.
From beginning to end.
Right.
We need to know how, number one, to handle the lady, one of the people who was sold to, akakuja akajenga. When they pursued the plots into 8 pieces, wakajenga barabara mpya in between. This person built kabisa, hata ni barabara amekula hapo.
Right.
Her apartment building literally would have to be pursued one side to make it right. But the other ways I think we can find a way to resolve that. In the meantime, there's a guy who calls me every day. He had worked at a tree nursery on the road between the fence and the tarmac. So this guy now is claiming that those trees have grown, and now he wants money for his trees. So you see, the phone keeps on ringing. There's a guy of the trees. There's the people whose mom passed away and she paid. The only proof I have of payment is documents that they have in original. I can verify from seeing that it's my dad's handwriting, but then again, that's not enough proof. There could be every form of fraud in that, but I don't think so. But I'm not. I don't have the
evidence and the paperwork or the
yeah,
paper trail.
yeah. I don't have enough to allow me to the point where I'm tempted to tell him, you know what, this is how much he paid Shikani Pesenyu, which now which then if I say that they'll tie up everything under Mzee's name. So
Okay.
I have not even reported the Gekuo. This was from 2022. I took the death set later, and then so we're in this forum with my sister, and she's here listening.
Okay.
So that's why we're reaching out, because I think this is a great forum. Would like some guidance on how we can move forward, and then we'll go from there.
All right. Thank you, Charles. Thank you, Charles, and your sister.
You're welcome.
And thank you, Samrak and MC Jared. This forum was planned for no one else except Charles and the sister, then it was worth it a while. It was worth a while. Thank you also, Charles, for just speaking out on our challenge. I'll just mention what we can mention here, and the rest of it probably we will need to, like, we have to follow outside this forum because of the public nature of this forum. And I'll ask Peter Kariuki to keep posting our address here, our telephones, our emails, so that you can be able to reach us and anybody else, because there are people with issues like these, questions, they are personal, they are family, some are very urgent.
Yes, I have engaged Charles on the chat box, and he has already shared his contact, and I have informed him someone from our team will get in touch with specifics.
Okay, Peter. Yes. Let me say a few things for the benefit of others. You have clarified one point towards the tail end, Charles, which I would have been my first question. I was going to ask, here we are dealing with two estates, your mom's and your dad's. Whether your dad, it was your mom who died first, correct?
Yes, but let me clarify. It was in fact, I only mentioned mom because one of the pieces, when Guka on mom's side felt like he was not too healthy, he decided to gawa for moms, isn't you?
I hear you.
Then
it is important. Go ahead.
But then the title came, I think they worked it out, it came in dad's name or mom and dad's. And then dad bought pieces next to that to help him offset his medical bills. But that piece was actually eventually sold many years ago, which caused another issue of mutation. So mom's name literally does not appear anywhere, but mom passed in 2007.
And your dad in 2022.
2022. So from that time, it has been dad all through.
Anyway, let me make the point I wanted to make. Even your mom is also important in the equation. I'll tell all who are listening that when a person dies, what they leave is something in law. It's like something that hangs in the air, a cloud of sorts known as an estate. And interesting enough, even a child has an estate to them. There are also people, by the time they are dying, they own nothing. But upon death, they can become millionaires, if not billionaires. Because somebody can just pop up and say, look, I had written this will. I'm sure that happens a lot in America and in other countries. But even here, so I think you made the point that I was interested in. You said so far you do have the death certificate, but you have not gone on for applying for succession, the letters of administration. Was I right? Am I right? Did I hear you right?
That is correct. All I did was apply for the certificate. I got a list from our Kili.
But you are based in Kenya.
Yes, I'm in Kenya. My siblings are in the States.
I will mention this, and Brenda said it when she was making her initial plans, and even in the opening remarks we made, there is nothing that cannot be achieved or done. There is nothing that is not beyond, the truth being unearthed. Okay, because of the way we have kept records in Kenya and because of corruption, which we are now fighting left, right, and center, we are shouting. If we are not shouting in courts and in on the portals where we file cases, we are shouting on social media. People are being careful. We are aware that Kenyans are taking the government to court as well. We have even non-lawyers going to court to agitate for their rights, constitutional and land and others. Sorry about what has happened and this unfortunate state of affairs. I think I will say this at the outset. I don't know how many siblings are there, but you contact us. You have Peter has engaged you, Mr. Kariuki, on the sideline. But the first thing we'll have to do for you and your sister, I don't know if you're the only two siblings or the others, is to give you the legal right to pursue. Right now, you don't have, you are a beneficiary, but you have not been empowered by the courts through either a full grant, letter of administration, or what we call an interim. There's an interim one that can be got into a couple of weeks, which makes one rush to court and block illegal things that are being done. An interim letter of administration. And it can be given to any of the siblings pending the substantive one being got. And you could very well agree with your sister that through an exchange of emails, because a paper trail is important, that you consulted, that you become the interim administrator, and that gives you powers to even knock into some doors, go into court and say, I'm here on behalf of this, there is this that's happening here and there, walk into chief's offices, into the police station, and also enable us, if we become your lawyers, to shout and make a lot of noise about that. Also, soon after, a process of getting the main letter of administration will be important to commence. You have made a great step forward in the sense that you have got the death certificate, because that's an important factor. But it will also be important between yourselves that you discuss, and after you discuss, please capture it in emails or exchange through WhatsApps and keep them, because they are important with your sister and any other of your family members, that Charles will be following our matters. Of course, the administrator of an estate is not the owner or the sole owner. You have an interest in that. And the administrator of an estate is just that, an administrator, a manager on behalf of the others. Sometimes you could decide, depending on how many you are, that there be two administrators, or how big the estate is. So we'll be willing to get into all that, would be willing to work with you. We know you could also have consulted other lawyers, but there is no harm in a second and a third opinion. And what we would say to you following this, as early even as next week, give you an appointment to come to our office, says, and let's get down into this. People who have constructed in other people's properties, the court is even giving orders for those properties to be demolished. There is a recent authority about, unfortunately, one of them was of a big church known as, it was in the news, Deliverance Church. They bought the late Kanyutu, who was our CIA, if you want, our NSI, as we used to call it, boss. And
Yes.
the other day, people have bought big houses in there, and the court said, no, nothing doing. They've got to get down. Right now, I understand they have decided to engage the family in negotiations. Can we pay you more? I don't have the whole picture. So even what has been lost, as long as it can be proven, then that process can move forward. Final one here, and I thought these are good remarks for everybody who is listening. Even where you don't have written documents, if it's possible to prove it through people, circumstances, and things that can be pieced together, you don't have to have a written document always. But when you have a written document, you have a head start. And Charles, we look forward to seeing you again and also to engaging in another Zoom like this with you and your sister for specifics. But make an appointment with Peter, drop to your office, let's see what you have, let's listen some more to you. Brenda, does that sound?
Yes, Sinian, thank you. I want to add, especially on the case for where there's a piece of land with a caveat on it. I just want to say that the existence of a caveat does not stop you from, Charles, I'm speaking to you, from starting the succession process.
Yes.
So what it only means that it just freezes any dealings. It does not transfer ownership. So you can file a petition if you have a will, or maybe if there was no will, we can get letters of administration for you. And then now during the succession process, the administrator now cannot transfer, but succession can be done. We can do the succession for you, and then now the other step, after now we complete the succession, now we can try to lift the caveat, have the caveat removed. But the caveat doesn't stop the process of succession. So yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brenda, for that. So, Charles, can we go back to MC Jared? I noticed we had an hour and a half. We are not very far from that.
Yes.
But we
Thank
look
you
forward.
very much. Thank you very much. Peter
Yes.
will reach out to me and I'll get back to him.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, both, all of you, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
MC, back to you. I don't know how we proceed. I noticed it's about 1.5 hours gone.
I know. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Charles, for that question. That was very beneficial to a lot of people. I noticed more people joined in as we went by, and good thing at least Sam is recording this, so we can be able to replay it back for the people that missed, most of the vital information. So we've been almost an hour and something. Almost 20 minutes, and I would like to thank everybody. Thank you so much. As you can all tell, Senior Counsel is very well seasoned lawyer in this, and very good information that we gathered tonight. And also the team that you have also is a very wonderful team, very informed, and that's the confidence that most people, especially here in the diaspora, look for. People usually want something or to deal with people that they know they can always be able to deliver. This is a law firm that knocks on doors, and that's what exactly people look for. So thank you so much for that, and building the confidence with us and everybody. And we're looking forward to, of course, having more forums like this and growing in a big way, especially in diaspora. So Sam, are you there? Sam, I'll probably.
Yes, I'm right here.
Oh, awesome. So do we have any more questions that came in that we could probably post on the chat, or how do we?
Yes, I have two more. Okay, in what ways can the Kenyan law be reformed to support youth employment and innovation? How does the legal framework in Kenya impact gender equality in business leadership and employment?
All right.
So maybe Senior Counsel, I could probably briefly answer those ones. And then I know there's going to be a bunch of more questions that are going to come through. So maybe what we can do is we can keep, all the questions can go through Sam, and then we can always maybe find a way of posting them to you so they can come back to the entire forum. That way, at least, because I know people will always have 1,000,001 questions. And also, just to mention, the websites, we'll also post the websites. They have a wonderful website that is very, very clear. And also their phone numbers, both from Kenya and from here. So they're easily accessible. So yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
All right. Brenda, do you want very quickly to talk about on gender equality? Not because, gender applies to both,
I was actually prepared to take on the legal reforms, especially with.
Okay, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me just.
Very briefly, yeah.
Sorry?
Kenyan law to support youth, legal reform, youth.
I think the youth nowadays work with the digital sector nowadays, so that if there's any law reforms that can be made maybe to support the youth, I would suggest they deal with digitalization of the economy, mostly with regard to like the internet, and how to safeguard businesses online, how to make processes easier, like how to maybe make systems more automated, how to encourage, the laws that maybe could encourage the youth to participate more in like in the political space, like maybe the intellectual property reforms. I think most of the law should focus on like the digital economy. So yeah, if there's any reforms that should be made, they should focus on digitalization.
And let me add, Brenda, and say, even as we tackle that question, already there is a framework, but it can be improved. For instance, a lot of registrations are taking place online, but you still need services of more LLP because or any other because we are still quite, we have not digitalized as much as you have done. In your country, you can get the history of a person in a long way. Then talking about youth, of course, the minimum age in Kenya is 18 for you to be considered a legal person with a document. But even a minor is a legal person, except they would do registrations or undertakings through what we call a next friend or another person or a family member or a parent. But if you're over 18, you can register a company, you can acquire licenses, you can also even acquire bank loans if you wish to. I think the question here is, because the youth below 35 make the majority of the Kenya population, what is the government doing, or what can be done? I know there has been agitation for, can we lower the retirement age so that there can be more jobs for the youth? Can we do this or the other? But right now, youths are doing a lot. Kenya e-commerce sector is growing rapidly, driven by increased internet access and mobile penetration. You'll be surprised. Over 80% of Kenyans are using mobile money services, starting an M-Pesa agents offering digital wallet services, which is highly profitable, So yeah, but it can be improved. On gender equality, there's, of course, the constitutional provision, which has not been fulfilled, that in every workplace, in every government, first of all, it's government. In every government institution, even the National Assembly, a third, at the minimum, a third should be of one gender, a minimum of a third. Even if it doesn't matter how many women there are, at least there should be a third men, or how many men there are, at least there should be a third of them. Parliament has not been able to fulfill that, and there was a time that the High Court, the Supreme Court, the Constitutional Court, it was the Supreme Court actually said it should be dissolved. If that was not done, part of the efforts I mentioned at the beginning in trying to amend the Constitution is to find out how this gender equality can be accomplished up to 100%. Without having to dissolve Parliament. But elections are only 2 years away, 20 months away, and so we may get there before that is done. But even talking about cases of harassment, cases of inheritance, there is no gender disparity. The Kenyan law recognizes all genders for purposes of succession, and the Kenyan law talks about men and women sisters and brothers if they're the ones who are inheriting. So yeah, but it can be done better. There's room for improvement because there are places you go, it needs to get into the private sector and you just find that the majority of the workers are men. And yet, what a man can do, a woman can also do. Samrak, back to you.
Thank you very much, everyone. I'll hand it over to Mr. Jared. If there's anyone in the Zoom meeting who has a question, feel free to enable your video and or your audio, ask a question before I hand over to Jared to close. Anyone, any question? In US, to access a lawyer for 30 minutes, you pay $350 for a Zoom meeting like this. So this is $350 right in your pocket. You can ask any question. You're not charging anyone. Okay, I'll hand over to MC Jared. Thank you.
Sorry. Before MC Jared comes in, we can look at the possibility of doing this other one. That would mean, what would it take for us to do it on an evening, say a Friday or a Saturday evening there, when all of you are back home? What would that mean? It would mean for us waking us up early, like 6 a.m., which is something we can also consider to accommodate your timelines. You have accommodated us. Maybe next time we can be up by 6 a.m., 7 a.m. That's a possibility we can look into.
Okay.
Then thirdly, we have a robust website, like you have been told before MC Jared comes in. And we have even an advert that we had sent to some of you over there. And I don't know if people have seen it. Samrat, thank you. You had promised that you will see to it that it runs around. Please don't hesitate to get in touch with us. If you can't call Kenyan number, yes, we are on, we have a call voice. You can call in and leave a message and we'll get back to you. We also have numbers, United States numbers. So you can be able to call us, your number out there to our number in the US. Probably very soon we'll also have a branch, a physical branch law firm in the US. Back to you, MC Jared. And thank you very much from where we are. We've enjoyed this time. Next time we'd like to do it at a time we shall sacrifice. We shall wake up early or sleep late.
Thank you, Senior Counsel. That was amazing. So the website has all the numbers. The website has the email address, all the information. Actually, Samrak, I think you had it on the screen. Do you mind just doing it one more time so people can see the legit website? There it is. So that's if you look at Sam's screen, you see that's the MOA website right there with all the information. And as I said, this is a team that knocks on doors, and very, very quick to respond to everything. So if you call them, they'll respond to you right away. They have US numbers, UK numbers, and Kenyan numbers. All right. Thank you. So once again, thank you so much, Senior Counsel. Thank you, the entire team, Peter Karaoke. Thank you, Brenda, Florence and everybody. Thank you guys. That was amazing. We should plan to do this again, as you said, on a different timing, just making sure at least we accommodate people in the US because of timing. It's on a Saturday afternoon, so people are running all over the place, and but I'm glad at least we still had a good number of people that joined. And we have it recorded, so people will, the people that are not supposed to join will be able to still benefit from all the information. Once again, thank you so much. And unless there's any other AOB, I would like to close the meeting so we can, the people in Kenya, we can let you guys to go to sleep, and the rest of us can go for the rest of the activities. Thank you so much, and God bless you. Again, MOA team, good job. Keep doing all you're doing. And, the diaspora team is looking up to, of course, working with you.
Thank you from us as well. Thank you very much. And God bless you also.
Thank you. God bless.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Next
Bye. Bye. Thank you.
you. God bless. Goodbye.